We are live, people. We are live. Welcome to another Toronto Talk stream. Today we're talking FIBA basketball. I got the same crew with me. The tournament preview we did. Lot to talk about. It's been a good little minute. A lot of basketball has happened. We wanted to do a preview for you guys before this second group stage, but we just couldn't make it happen. But yeah, we're gonna get through a lot of things, people. Shout out to everybody watching, people watching live right now, people watching on the replay. Make sure you guys stay engaged with the content. If you enjoy what you guys are watching, as an audience, you have the ability to make YouTube channels get bigger. So stay engaged, man. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, get active in the comments. If you're watching live, get active in the chat. These are all things that help the channel out and help the channel grow. It's gonna help us have more opportunities to give you guys content. So with that being said, got the usual squad with me. What's going on, Nico?
How you doing, man? How you doing? It's been a hell of a FIBA World Cup, man. Oh my God.
Man, this could have been a really sad stream for me. It was very close to being a very sad stream for me. So it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, man. Maybe that next stream after Slovenia might be tough, but
By
so
a
far
single
so good.
thread. That Spain game. Oh my goodness.
Chaos, chaos. Eddie, what do you think?
I'm good, man. We got all of America going crazy on whether or not we can call ourselves world champions yet. But everything
That's
else,
true.
we solid. We good. What's good, Nico?
How you doing, man? Hey,
All good. All
on that
good.
world champion thing, I don't know if y'all saw the same game I saw against
I'm just saying,
Lithuania.
as soon as the conversation started to die down, Valanciunas said, and like he just dropped a bomb in that conversation.
It's so funny, dog. There's so much to get into. I can't
Mhm.
wait. It's
Oh my
the good
God.
place to have this conversation after show. For sure. Yeah.
Oh, 100%, 100% international panel, international audience, man. So that's what we'll probably start out with Canada, just like we did on the first show. It was an interesting tournament, man. I'll just like really quickly get through the games before Spain. So we
Mm.
play against France. Slow start, sloppy first and second quarter, going to halftime up three, and then just blow them out in the third quarter, win the game by 30, right? And you look at that and you go, whoa, I didn't know we could do that to France. That's crazy. Second game against Lebanon, I wasn't gonna get up at 5 in the morning to watch that. They win by like 50 something. All right, cool, right? So far, so good. Then we play Latvia, and it's just a replay of the France game. Slow start, sloppy first quarter, sloppy second quarter. They get into it in the third quarter. I think get up to like a 25-point lead and then win by 20. So at that point, I'm looking at it like very good team. Team that can get it done, like on both ends when they lock in, but just definitely have sloppy moments in them. So then we play Brazil. Brazil is a game where it looks like it's a rerun, right? It looks like the same thing. Sloppy first quarter, sloppy second quarter, contested game. It's pretty even. And then in the third quarter, we open up a 10-point lead. But the difference between the Brazil game and Latvia and France was that 10-point lead didn't get to a 20-point lead. Brazil just stuck around and stuck around and stuck around. And they hit a buzzer beater at the end of the third to make it a 7-point game. And it didn't feel like a big deal when it happened, but in hindsight afterwards, as the rest of the fourth quarter went on, I could tell that three just gave them life. And look, Brazil just they out Grammy'd us in the fourth quarter, and they got that W. Bruno Caboclo, Iago dos Santos, like they did work. I gotta hold my hands up. Like
Lord Bruno
they
got
they
revenge.
100%. They basically showed like the bad parts of what Canada can do on a basketball court that turned up during moments against France and Latvia. They really like exposed. So I'm going into Spain like, oh shit, this could have just been nothing. We could have just beat Brazil, and this game could have been for literally nothing, right?
Right.
Um, I wake up that morning and I'm like, okay, Puerto Rico lost, Dominican Republic lost, Brazil lost. So they all get bounced out of the tournament. So now Canada, if they can just beat Spain, they get that Olympic spot. So I wake up for the game against Spain and I'm like, this is for the Olympics and this tournament. This is all of a sudden a huge opportunity. And bro, they just play a shitty basketball game for a lot of that game. They showed up and turnovers, like unforced turnovers. I'm dribbling the basketball and I just lose my handle, or
Mm.
balls passed to me in a good opportunity and I just dropped the pass, right? RJ Barrett decided in the first half to just run through people defensively. Like he just ran through a screen for no reason. He happened twice. There was a play where Spain hit a three as RJ Barrett ran through a screener who opened up the 3-point shooter, and he got 3 free throws after he made a three. That could have been a 6-point possession, right? There was a point in the third quarter where Spain got no, it was the second quarter as well, where Spain got a 7-point possession because they got a three, and then Dylan Brooks took an unsportsmanlike foul underneath the basket, putting his forearm in somebody's face to get 2 free throws, and then the ball, and then they got a bucket. So they got a cool 7 points off one thing. Yeah, it was a disgusting game. Shots weren't falling. Basically, we would have been blown out in the first half if RJ Barrett didn't decide to be like a one-man transition offense. That was just it. RJ Barrett just being bigger and stronger than the Spanish players in the open court. That's what saved us in the first half. And look, we just stuck around. Spain took about 7 fouls in 3 minutes to start the fourth quarter. To start the third quarter. And that's really like it brought us back into the game, but then they got back. Santi Aldama turned into LeBron James. And the reason I say that is he hit a three, and then he made a windmill dunk. And it wasn't a windmill because he was open and had a bunch of space. He did a windmill because that was out of circumstance the only way to protect the ball from the defender. Like he's out here just pulling out windmills in the middle of the game, and that's honestly when I thought we lost. He comes back down the court, hits another three. I'm like, yo, Santi Aldama is God right now. This is crazy. So I'm just honestly like, I did a watch along and I was just so discouraged for the whole game. And then we get to the end and the Spain just they go 4 minutes without scoring, and Canada doesn't fully take advantage of it. Again, I still don't think we're gonna win this game. And then it swung on the back of Dylan Brooks, making 2 big plays at the end of the game. And I never thought it would be this, but Dylan Brooks hits a three on one end, gets to the other half of the court and forces a turnover. And that put basically the ball in SGA's hands to make a difference, and he did what he does. So we beat Spain in what felt like a miraculous way. I can't believe that they tricked that game off. I'm so grateful that they did, though. SGA in the last minute of the game had 8 points, 6 for 6 from the free throw line, and a steal on the other end. So, man, to have basically like the superstar actually have a superstar moment, it was amazing. It brought back the feelings that I haven't felt since Kawhi with the Raptors. So, man, I was happy. It was a great time. I'm kind of glad that the game was shitty at the start because it made the ending feel so much better. But yeah, now I'm looking at Slovenia. I'm thinking about what really Brazil and Spain exposed when it comes to Canada, and that's basically that if you have a physical center that can move, like it's not just one trait, it's both, right? Because Bruno Caboclo was physical and could move. So Dwight Powell couldn't deal with his physicality, but then also couldn't keep up with his feet either. Willy Hernan Gomez on Spain, similar kind of a player, obviously much bigger, but bro, he moves really well for somebody with his size. So I'm looking at that kind of a profile. If we run into that again, I'm not sure what we're gonna do to deal with it, but yeah, I feel really encouraged just seeing how we executed down the stretch, because late game execution is something that I feel like you kind of either have it or you don't, right? You either have the nerve to deal with those situations or you don't. So to see that box check, man, really happy. I'm curious though, did you guys manage to watch that game or any parts of that game?
I watched parts of that Spain Canada game, and I watched the part when Dylan Brooks became the second coming of Jesus Christ, basically.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe my eyes. I was sick to my stomach. I'm not a fan of Dylan Brooks.
Right.
I told you got that Houston contract. He's a different man now.
He's been acting different. He's been acting so different.
Crazy.
I mean, I was just surprised, to be honest, because Canada was looking kind of top heavy during a lot of the tournament. Kind of relying on Shea and RJ a lot of times. But then comes little Dylan. Save the day. I can't believe it. I really can't believe it.
Man, I haven't been able to catch full games. Well, no, you know what's funny? I always catch the blowouts. Like I thought that when you played France, it
Yeah.
would be a close game. So I'm kind of staying up for it. Like I mean, I'm about to pass out. Then it gets to like 30, and I was like, yeah. Before I know it, I was knocked out. But it's kind of been like what I expected. Kind of Nico's point, like the guys who were supposed to stand out have stood out. The guys, everybody's like playing their role, if that makes sense. Like the Dylan Brooks is kind of that one game where you needed somebody to play outside their skin, and you got that. I mean, maybe if it was from like a Kelly, we'd be fucking happier to see it. But because it's Dylan, it's like, what the hell is going on in the world right now, you know? But now you always gotta tip your cap to one of them ones who like in those situations just steps up to the call. So by any means, dog, that's what part of the tournament we're in. Like you don't care how you get a win, just get a win and move on to the next one.
Oh, 100%, 100%. Because in that game too, like so many players, I feel just like turned in the worst performance they could, and I've been like, it's mainly Kelly Olynyk and Dwight Powell. Honestly, like both of them really struggled against Bruno Caboclo, and then really struggled against Willie Hernan Gomez. Both those players, we were having to like persevere through the bullshit with those two players for a while, but
Mhm.
it ended up panning out. Nikhil and Lou Dort kind of, they started out the tournament hot. They kind of
Yeah,
have
they've cooled off. They've cooled
yeah,
off.
they've cooled off big time. Really, it's just been like, RJ, what can we get from you? We know we've kind of known what we're gonna get from Dylan Brooks, and then just SGA carry us. Like this guy, we've needed
Mhm.
27 and like 7 from him consistently, but like he's managed to give it to us. So
Yeah.
um, look, we're just super fortunate, man. Like Eddie, I know you've been talking about it a lot. We've done many hours of watch alongs together, and it's come up a lot where Eddie's like, look, how come Canada has never managed to put like a better product on the court from a basketball standpoint? But it finally happened. It
Yeah.
finally happened.
It's like it's funny because like growing up, like I remember going to a tournament in Vegas, and it was they have these big ass AAU tournaments, and I remember a team from Canada pulled up, and it was like, okay, we gonna see, like America's bro. When you from America, it comes to basketball business, you just think your shit don't stink.
World
And so much.
champions.
Yeah, world
World
champions type thing.
champions.
You know, as soon as the AAU is like, oh, bro, what they know? And
Yeah.
brother, when I tell you we got smoked, because it's like we saw the first five, and the first five wasn't the people who were playing. It was the next five where I started to see. I was like, oh, wait a minute, like they got hoopers for real. And then just by being in that basketball scene around like 2010, I had a friend who went to this school called Finlay Prep way back in the day, and Tristan Thompson, Corey Joseph, and I think his name was like Mick Kabongo or something like that.
Yeah. Mike Kabongo. Yeah.
Mike Kabongo, like those three came to hoop, and like that was like the first like national introduction, like Canadian hoopers. And
Yeah.
then Andrew Wiggins showed up on the scene, so it was over. So I was always taking note of that. And then it was just like at a point where you looked in the league, and like around 2016, 17, it was like apparent, like, yeah, Canada has kind of arrived on the world on the hoop stage. And it's good to see because like I've always been a more international type of viewpoint.
Yeah.
So whenever countries step on and really make a name for themselves in the sporting wise, especially in a game like basketball, it's always dope to see. So hopefully, second place looks good. I don't want to be out here talking like a loser again. Hopefully, good little second place finish. But yeah, shout out to them, man, because
Hey,
yeah, it's dope. It's dope.
no, we're gonna see, because that loss against Lithuania put you guys on the other side of the bracket. Like I didn't
Yeah.
want to potentially see Canada US in the semis. That's a finals kind of matchup. That's
Yeah,
when
man.
that's when I
It's
need that. That's when
crazy.
I need to see that. Shout out to Kenyon in the chat. Somebody who's on this channel pretty regularly. Says Slovenia doesn't scare me. Lithuania does, because they
I
got the
agree.
big man. They got
I
the
agree.
big man
Yep.
at the end of the day. I feel like we have SGA-Luka, that's 1v1, right? Like that's even, but it's like I think we have something. We have more to bother Luka than they do to bother SGA. Um, we'll see. But like, it's the fact that we've seen centers deal with our bigs so effortlessly that makes me look at Lithuania. And Kenyan's been beating this drum for a minute. Like, whenever it happens during a watch long where I'm like, damn, Slovenia, they got Luka. He's always making like, no, is you worry about the Germanys, all these other teams. It says we need to stop messing around and come Olympic time. No more non-NBA players. We have like 26 potential guys who are in the NBA. No need to bring the scrubs, literally, or even Kojo who hasn't played. Big facts, big facts. Yo, who is
true.
Melvin Edgem? No, I'm playing. Like, shout out to him. He's cool.
Nah, I feel it though. I'm on the same, bro. When we get to the U.S., you understand my pain, dog. But
I hear you.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I hear you. No, I literally, this scrubs joke writes itself. We got these scrub brothers on our team for no reason. But yeah, man, shout out to you. Tristan Thompson definitely deserves his flowers. Yeah, that was the first pick in the run of lottery picks, like, because I think prior to Tristan Thompson, Canadian lottery picks weren't really a thing. And then since then, we're on like a one per year kind of an average. So definitely deserves his flowers. Add Jamal Murray to this team and you have yourselves a top contender.
That is very true.
Bro, yes, because you got buckets, you got shot creation for a whole team between him and SGA and Jamal Murray. So now you just have to figure the role players out, and that's such a huge like box to have checked when that's not your deficiency. Buckets, shot creation, initiating offense. When that's not your deficiency, you're working from a very good place. Lithuania beat the Americans with size, absolutely destroying the rebounding game. Yeah, I think it was like 43 to 27. We're definitely going to get into this game, but I saw that stat.
Look, for Canada, I believe that Jordy Fernandez should notice that Dwight Powell and Kelly Olynyk look lost out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely lost. I feel like Jordy should just run zone the entire game, let the other team shoot, and live with it, because they're going to get eaten up if they get any like elite big men in this tournament, to be honest.
We just have to go small anyways, because how we ended up coping with the bigs is just like we started switching everything and then just like trapping aggressively. So it's like the amount of crucial possessions down the stretch where I saw Dylan Brooks and SGA against Willie Hernangomez, it wasn't fun. It managed to get effective at some point, but it wasn't fun to watch. But like I said, like we're winning in spite of our bigs at this point, not because of our bigs.
Kelly's doing cardio at this point. I'm not a fan.
No, yo, he was ass against Spain. It was so bad. He hit 2 threes in the third that made up for it a bit, but bro, it was
Who was
bad.
getting busy for the bigs on Spain?
Oh, Willie Hernangomez, Eddie. He averages Willie. He averages 17. He averaged 17 in this tournament. He had 18 in the first half. I think he finished with like 28. He was cooking. No, you don't understand, Eddie. They basically saw the playbook that Bruno Caboclo ran as like a small 5, and they said, "Look, we have a 5 that's pretty mobile, so we're just gonna run the same thing." And just like Dwight Powell could not deal with it, Kelly Olynyk could not deal with it. Like we picked up a lot of fouls early, and that kind of set the tone for the game. Kenya says, "I know Melvin's cousin." Actually, funny enough, I said the same thing. I'm assuming that's from when I said who was Melvin Edgem. Damn, that's cold. That's cold.
Yeah, bro, I only know him because I'm a basketball junkie and I watch Summer League. If I didn't watch Summer League, I would have no clue who he was, bro.
That's facts. That's facts. Look. Typical Canadian fashion, we have people asking to make emotional picks for Bloody Olympics. It's big boy pants time for this program. I'd love to see Leonard Miller, given that he can hoop at 6'11". Leonard Miller, did he get drafted this past draft, or is he in next year's draft? I'm not sure. I forget. Kenyon.
I have no idea.
Yeah, but yeah. Olynyk and Power technically for us, that's a major issue. Yeah, I don't know. Like, we don't really have bigs like that down the pipeline either, because Zach Edey is on the team, but he's in college. But like, I don't really think that's it. That's not the answer.
Nah, he's not ready. He's not ready.
He's not ready at all. But
also, I want to give a big up for Canada. 3-point shooting has been great.
Hold up. I think I froze for a second. What'd you say?
Oh, Canada's 3-point shooting this tournament has been amazing. I mean, y'all been getting a lot of open shots.
Oh yeah, more than we've expected to. I think for sure. There's been some bad stretches, but like all things considered, Nikhil has been good for at least like 1-3 a game. Lou Dort randomly has been shooting better than I expected.
They're just getting good looks.
Yeah, RJ gets looks in the corners. That's the thing. Like if RJ had to like get his own threes, it wouldn't be like that. But when he's sitting in the corner waiting for the shot, doesn't
Yeah,
end up being too bad.
a lot of Canada's threes, you notice, aren't bailouts. I feel like a lot of teams in this tournament have been getting a lot of bailout threes. They just chuck it and they make it. But Canada's been getting like good, consistent looks. Big up to Jordy for that one.
No, Jordy's been solid too. Jordy's been solid. I've been pleasantly surprised with what I've seen from him. He's pretty proactive. Like what I notice is that once he once he notices the mistake, it gets dealt with like within that quarter. He doesn't tend to let
Yeah.
bad things run for too long. Like I remember actually like the tournament started out this way because when we played France, I think we were up like 14-9, and then he takes the whole starting lineup out and puts like 5 bench players in while France still has their starters in. And like France gets a run off to like get a lead, and it was a pretty bad moment, and it felt like this is the only reason that they're still in this game at halftime, and he just never made that same mistake for the rest of the tournament, right? He like from that point he figured that he has to stagger this bench. The bench has not enough quality to warrant that kind of a substitution, and it's just like that's a example of what it's been like for the whole tournament. So I'm impressed with him. Yeah, I'm impressed with him. I know he got the win against Scariolo, who he said is his FIBA mentor. He went as far to say it's his FIBA father, which I think is a interesting way to put it. But like the son got the win, so I'm happy for him. Miguel says, and Canada got lucky. Spain ain't got guards for shit. Prime Sergio Yul and Rudy would have knocked him out. This is true, bro. They had 40-year-old guys. They had 40-year-old guys out there on the court. They kept panning to Sergio Yul too on the bench. I'm like, yo, he's a coach. We don't need to pan to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's real. This is the thing. Like, you could tell Spain, like
they came a little ill prepared.
But like you could see watching the game, they knew what to do. When they executed really well, they did a lot of good things. They just didn't have the talent. That's just what it is.
Coach was there, talent was not.
They were coaching circles around us for about the first half for sure. I think Jordy made some good adjustments at halftime, but honestly, like they knew what to do in that game. They just couldn't do it. We definitely got lucky from that standpoint. But like this is how it goes, man. Like I don't know who the next generation of Spanish talent is. Like I know Usman Garuba is young, but he's like their backup big. It doesn't look like they have a pipeline or anything. But bro, Santi Aldama scared the shit out of me in the third quarter, man.
That's crazy.
The next time I watch Memphis, I have to watch him. I'm like, yo, are you nice like that in the NBA?
No,
he's not.
He's not at all, bro. It's so that's why I'm hearing what you're saying, and I can really I halfway can't believe it. But that's FIBA for you,
Eddie. He threw a windmill down in a game out of circle. He had to. He had no other choice, and he did. I was so shocked. But yeah, that's what that game was, man. Dylan Brooks and Santi Aldama getting off. It was something Grizzlies fans. I don't know. Like maybe they've seen that before. I haven't.
Nah, he's like.
He's not bad. He's not a bad NBA player. I feel like he's got upside in my
opinion. No, he definitely has upside. That was the thing. Like because it was like the Lakers, it was big stage type shit. He wasn't necessarily ready for the moment of being, but he always would have flashes. Like you look at him, and you're like, he moves so fluid for his size. He's one of those types of players.
Yeah.
Also, he's a pretty good shooter. I mean,
that's what it was. He was hitting threes. And at his height too, right? Like he can get the shot off from a pretty high point. He can get contested threes off, and that's what he was doing. Like, I don't think the rest of the Spanish team was him and some other guy. I think it was Abrines. They were just hitting contested threes all game. Didn't matter what we did. The amount of times I was talking it through as it happened. I was like, look, you live with that shot contest? Oh, he made it.
Yeah, I mean, tracking back to the NBA, Santi last season averaged 12% from the three and made a big jump to 35%. I feel like he's got a lot of untapped, unseen things that he's yet to show.
With him, it's you're right, because it's like playing in Memphis. When you got a player like Dylan Brooks, just saying that's like kind of the position you want him to play, that 3-4. I don't think he's big enough, because that's what I noticed. Like when they threw it to Anthony Davis, it was like, yo, even Anthony Davis looks bigger than you. But when you put him on a guy like Rui, that kind of his size comp, he did his thing. It's just the moment. But like them guys have been playing FIBA basketball their whole life. So when they get out to that environment with that type of
it's a little more natural.
So yeah, it's a little more natural to them, But yeah, I seen him for space. You know how it goes. Same thing with the Hernan Gomez brothers. Like, who's the shooter?
Juancho?
Juancho looks so goddamn cold when he plays for Spain. It's crazy. Like, I was watching him in Eurobasket.
Yeah.
I like his, but it's like when it carries over to the league, it don't really hit the same. But like in Eurobasket, it was him and his brother.
Yeah, I mean, Juancho didn't look too hot against Canada. He didn't play that much either.
He didn't play that well against Canada.
It was Willie. Willie was cooking.
Willie was. Okay. I mean, Willie has been the guy for Spain. Like,
yeah, no doubt.
Juancho sometimes he sometimes takes the lead.
I mean, he's a part-time actor. You know, like a lot on his plate. A lot on his plate.
He has his moments. I think that's what it is. You know, like he has a game here and there, but it seems like you guys have said from what I've seen as well, like. It's usually the center who's the consistent one getting the buckets a lot of the time.
But yeah, for sure, man. Crazy game. Like I said, look forward to Slovenia, and then like we'll look at the bracket after. But like even the next matchup against potentially Serbia or Lithuania, like all teams that come with their own issues and bring their own, kind of tricks to the table. So, man, I look forward to the rest of the tournament for Canada. At the end of the day, just like the Olympic spot is locked down, because like that's what I was stressing about. Because I think the qualification games, if you don't get the Olympics right now, I think are in like November or something. Yeah. But it's like it's NBA season, right? So like we're not gonna have the NBA players. So that impacts a country like Canada in a major way. So that's what it was like during this game. The Olympic berth on the line. Potentially, this is like if you lose this, you don't make the Olympics, and you're bounced out of this tournament. So that's just like the performance down the end, man. Dopamine rush is like crazy. But yeah, we can move past Canada and get to Puerto Rico. Nico, the floor is yours, man.
Man, oh man, Puerto Rico. Look. I was very excited when we beat Dominican Republic, just for it all to fall against Italy. Oh my God. There was a lot of momentum. I mean, Puerto Rico was playing great basketball. They played great basketball against Sudan. They shot the lights out against China. Tremont Waters had a great performance. He outdueled Cat against Dominican Republic. But then, I don't know. I really don't know what happened against Italy. Very disappointed. We can still fight for that Olympic spot, but it was tougher than I thought. I really thought we were gonna get to that last bracket, especially winning against DR, who was undefeated. Oh my God, I was just disappointed, especially when I feel like almost everybody was playing very good basketball. Especially Tremont and Condit. Condit showed up big against Cat, played great defense. I mean, although Cat did drop like 37, but it would have been worse if Condit wasn't there. In games against China, they were shooting them out of the gym, very efficient shooting. Crazy shots too. Tremont was pulling up from half court, doing all types of and one mixtape moves. As we said in the first preview
video,
they showed a lot of dog in this tournament. A lot of dog. They just came short, man. It's a little disappointing, a little sad, but what can you do? It was I feel like a unprepared roster, new coach. Some people were underutilized. We didn't bring the full force of Puerto Rico, sadly, but I believe that they had a showing that was more than expected. I believe, especially against the teams that we just went. I'm just disappointed, man. I'm sad because we had a lot to look up to.
Yeah, I feel like with the win against DR, then like, that
was the turning
that's
point.
a big up and down to end the tournament. That's a really big up and down.
It was huge. I mean, at least we got bragging rights against the Dominicans. Winning against them, it's always great. Won against them at the World Baseball Classic. Won against them at FIBA World Cup.
Oh, it's lit.
I can't be mad at that, to be honest.
I respect it.
Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, they believe they got the better teams. In paper, they do, but hey, they leave it all on the court, So at least I'm happy we beat the Dominicans, Still sad though. I'm not gonna lie. But I don't know. I feel like it was bad luck too in the draw in the group that we got, because I don't know. I think we got the worst group out of all of them. It was a very uphill battle. You had Serbia, you had Italy, you had the DR who was undefeated, like preemptively without knowing who you're gonna go up against.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe they really played above expectations for this tournament. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna go out here and say that it was a failure, but a lot more could have been done. Definitely, I do believe so.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like I'm trying to think how much I watched. I think I watched like 2 quarters. I wanted to watch versus the Dominican Republic, but bro, the
The
timings,
times are
the
horrible,
timings were
man.
ridiculous.
Horrible. That sucks. Also, I want to point out something I said about a certain player at the beginning playing in this league. Rondé Kobe Hollis Jefferson. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Here's the
What
thing:
did
the
I
whole
tell you
world,
guys?
the whole world wasn't prepared, but I was because of you. So I
Yes.
mean, I appreciate.
Yeah,
I
it
told you
was
guys.
wild. It was honestly, it was wild, bro. It was wild.
Rondé as your number one option is great basketball.
See,
I
but here's the
told
thing,
you.
right? What I wasn't prepared for was the fact that like he got the whole cut
Oh
and
yeah,
clean
yeah, he got
shape. Like
yeah.
I didn't take in that he was trying to look like
Yeah,
Kobe.
me
Put the
neither.
24 on as well. I was not prepared, but
Oh, there were some
that was
shots I would. I mean, I was like, he wasn't taking those shots here. I don't know. I don't know why I got into him, but I love it.
you don't know what got into him, bro. Just look at him. You can see what like the Mamba
got the
mentality.
Mamba.
He became the Mamba
It
mentality.
changes him, man. I think they're gonna league him. I really do.
I hope.
I really do think they're gonna
I
league
do
him.
hope.
Somebody got to pull some strings. Somebody got to make it happen. We need,
Yeah,
the
man.
superstar player for Jordan in the
Bring him
league.
back. Also, another side note: Tremont Waters, he's back. In
Oh yeah,
Toronto.
yes. Tremont Waters
Yep.
is on the Raptors G League team, so he'll be
Oh,
hooping
wow.
like 20 minutes away from where I live. So I'm definitely gonna go check out a game. I'm gonna try to find him. I'm gonna be like, yo, I know a guy, big fan. I just need a shout out from you. So hopefully we're gonna make that happen, people.
Yeah.
Yo.
But
Yeah, shout out to him, bro. He was
real.
hooping for real. We like it's again, like we say, man. When these dudes get they shine on the big stage, like I hope it educates people that like, yo, they might not be in the league, but don't get it
They
twisted.
got talent. I mean,
They
you
got
guys,
talent, man.
everybody saw it. Bias aside, Tremont was one of the best players in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As a whole.
Yo, that whole thing, right? Like you watch different teams and you'll see it. And this is the part that I was really frustrated about with this tournament is because once I got into it, I actually really wanted to watch more. I just couldn't because of the timings. But like I watched Latvia against Canada and I was like, yo, Latvia has two really solid players.
Latvia's been catching bodies out of nowhere.
Latvia is cold.
And
I
they got
actually
attitude
watched
too.
so much more.
They got attitude.
Yeah,
I'll let you know.
yeah. That was they're like the shock of the tournament. Like maybe I shouldn't be shocked if I like had a better understanding of their hoopers, but yo, nobody is safe when Latvia pulls up. I never thought I would say that, bro. I never thought I would say that, but I saw them play and it's like I'm not gonna overstate. It's like that Spurs S type where it's like they're always looking for that extra pass.
Yeah.
They had one cold sequence where like on a fast break, legit everybody touched the ball. Like
it was
one
quick passes too.
Yeah, man. They it's like it's again, you don't see that a lot of times on the main stage of hoops, so you always forget like how
really
dope that type of basketball is,
Not any team can make those quick passes very accurately too. They looked on purpose. They weren't just throwing the ball around.
You can see that it's chemistry and like actually playing together and like all being on the same page with how you want to play. Like again, I don't know who their coach is or if he's been there for a while, but like you can see evidence of just like the work that's been put in, right? And yeah, like I looked a couple of the guys up. Like they've been playing basketball for a good little minute. They've probably been playing together, like you talked about it. They maybe live together in the same neighborhoods and shit. But like, yeah, they're all on the same page. They know what they're doing, and like, I just like that's a team I would have watched every game of if the timings were appropriate, but they weren't.
Yeah, that's a bad thing. I do believe it's the end of the road for them, though.
Yeah,
I don't think they're beating Germany.
Me neither.
Germany
is an insane team.
Germany's a machine. We'll definitely get into the bracket, but just before that, we'll get into the U.S. Eddie. Talk to me. How do you feel?
It's what I expected, honestly. Um, Now let me preface this by saying, again, Steve Kerr is a hell of a coach, but I've always had my questions with him
Yeah.
because sometimes it's like he makes it way too complicated. He honestly, and this is my opinion. You're not playing in the NBA, right? You have the ability, like we don't have bigs that are blocky and just don't know what they're doing out there. Can't put one foot in front of the other. Like I feel like if you can get away in the FIBA game with playing a guy like Jaren Jackson at the 4. Because what happens is he's the last line, and even when he is the last line, you got people like Vucevic who just can put the weight on him, bro. Pause. Like it is what it is. He's a skinny kid, but he has heart. Not too much of a brain to read the game because I think he's already fouled out before in one game, and that's consistent with his NBA career. So at least we know he's comfortable out there. Um, and like I would maybe it's not Portis. I just put the Kessup kid out there, see what he can do. But if you're gonna switch everything and everybody you're playing is going inside out, I think that's the problem that the US is having more than anything is they're not used to teams legit dumping the ball down to the post and playing out of there.
Yeah, yeah.
And
That's unfamiliar.
it puts a lot like he's my dog. He's my dog. But the way that they were bullying Austin Reeves, I'm like, okay, Coach Kerr, you see you okay, maybe Austin at point and you put because all you need is really literally one ISO player. If you have shooters in the corner, you'll be okay. But he wants to continue with that small backcourt and switch everything, and then you're not allowed to at least limit them in one way because Lithuania got every rebound, and then when you came to help, they made the correct pass for the open three, and it was just like it was the same story over and over again. Now we got back into the game because of talent. And I don't really feel the need to go over the group stage games because we already knew what it was when we saw the schedule. Like they were gonna blow
Yeah,
them out.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But the game with Montenegro, you could see what the issues were. And you saw, and then like you said, teams are capitalizing on mistakes. They're scouting you every game. They see what you're not doing well. So and the Brandon Ingram thing, just to finish up, is like, yo, you knew Brandon Ingram is not a role player. There has never been a point, and I'm a Lakers fan. I'll tell you this right now. There's never been a point in Brandon Ingram's career where they said, yo, go to the corner and on the catch, make your move.
100%. Yeah,
I agree.
100%.
Every time it's, yo, Brandon brings the ball down, pick and roll, ISO. It is what it is. He doesn't get it. He kicks it out to somebody else. You can't make him a corner player, bro. So I hope they figure it out. We have no choice because Italy is not no game. Like, the bigs can shoot, they can pass, they can dribble. If you're not right, they will legit have you spinning all around the court trying to find out where the ball is going. So they got to shape up, bro. And it's only the game's like what tomorrow, so we'll see what adjustments they make. But yeah, I'm not as confident as some of my friends are about this shit. I still think they can get it done, but I'm like at 65%. I'll say that much. Bro.
I hear you. I hear you. Shit. Okay, we may as well go right into that game then, because I do. Yeah, the bracket that I have has that game at the top of it. So we'll just throw this on the screen real quick while we talk through it. But yeah, the top one there, Italy against the U.S. and yeah, I look at that and I'm like, look, U.S. has a secret weapon. They have Paulo. He's not with the funnies for this
Oh
matchup.
yeah, I forgot
Yep.
about
Yeah, yeah,
Paulo.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the subplot. That's the big
Dog, he's
subplot for this
finna
game.
get Scooby.
Betrayal.
Oh, they finna be so amped for that game.
Paulo
Damn.
40 piece incoming. Paulo 40
We
piece
need
incoming.
it. We need everything, bro.
I mean, that Paulo fiasco might backfire on the U.S. They're all
That's
pissed.
what I'm saying.
They're all pissed.
It's beef.
Not-
It's certified beef.
They asked him. They asked him. I saw an interviewer asked Paolo like yesterday, "Do you have any message for the Italy fans?" And he was just like, "No," with like a just stone cold face right at the reporter, and then on to the next question. But yeah, it's interesting. Again, it's just I think I'm gonna get up to watch that one.
Mm. Look, I think USA is probably gonna win, but they do bleed, and they've shown they can bleed.
Man,
I wouldn't be surprised if Italy just shocks the world. I mean, it wouldn't be good PR for US too. I mean, this World Champions thing after that Lithuania match, oh my god.
yeah.
So here's the thing, though. I'm not familiar with Italy's bigs. Do they have the bigs to win the rebounding battle the way Lithuania did?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think what they got is they got Melly. They
Yeah,
got another like
Fontecchio.
Fun
yeah,
fiction.
yeah. They have like they're what makes them unique is those 3-4s and everybody can shoot on their team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if Nico Melli is your leading rebounder, I don't think that team is gonna win the
Yeah.
the
rebounding battle
rebounding.
against
So
USA.
they're gonna need a different game plan. They can't just
Mhm.
run the Lithuania playbook back. Got it.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's 6'9". I don't think he's that strong in the paint, so I don't think he's gonna be able to win against guys like Jaren Jackson
Yeah.
or even Paolo at that point. Paolo's a little bit taller.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't like Italy's chance on the rebound. They're probably going to kill USA on that offense and crash in the board. Like offensive rebound wise, I think they might
Yeah.
get to them,
Yeah.
especially when they got that shoot heavy offense. So I don't know. I don't know how Steve Kerr is going to handle this situation. I believe he should give Walker Kessler like one more good shot
Yeah.
at this match, especially such a defensive minded guy like Walker. I think now is the time to try something because
If you're gonna experiment with center, it sounds like this is the game to do it.
you
Like
have one
I
game to do
wouldn't,
it.
I wouldn't play those games against Germany.
Mhm.
So,
Because
yeah.
here's my thing. It's like if it was me, if it was my lineup, I'm legit going like for the rest of this tournament out. The biggest lineup you can think of. So I'm gonna go like Walker, then I'm gonna go Jaren. I'll probably go Paolo, but Paolo got to make the corner three. That's the only thing. And so I probably would have just put Ant, and instead of Brunson, I'm playing Halliburton.
I can see that. I just don't think Paolo shouldn't be a corner sitter either. I feel like they should let Paolo torch him from the mid range,
Yeah,
especially with his size and his ability down there.
yeah.
I don't think they should have him roaming at the corner. Same with Bi. I don't think he should be sitting in the corner. I mean, these are marquee guys too. So
Mhm.
I don't know. It shouldn't be the Ant show because if you let Ant have the ball all game and take all the shots, they're gonna see all those reads. So
Oh yeah.
they
He turns the ball over a lot too.
Yeah.
People don't notice that, but like I'm looking at like he's a great player,
Yeah.
but he's still young. So
he can't
yeah.
single handedly carry USA. I really
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
He can't
He's
do
not. He's not there yet.
not
that.
at
He
all.
could be, but this is not the tournament to do it. Especially with everybody so young. Like a lot of these guys still got their egos like way up here. So Steve Kerr's got to handle that.
You could maybe, but it's like at certain points, like you put Josh Hart out there, right? And that's
Yeah.
the guy guarding the point. And then you have like a BI bringing the ball up, and you can have Edwards play off, secondarily wise because Edwards can score however he wants. He doesn't have a problem scoring, right?
Yeah.
His problem is playing the whole game. Like his problem is seeing the game more than just for his scoring. And defensively, they've been okay, but that's really not where our problems are defensively. The problems defensively for the US have been the back end, like guarding the 5s and the 4s. And I don't think there's been a guard really that's killed us. I just think it's been the bigs.
Yeah. That's why I say give Walker Kessler a chance. I mean,
Yeah.
he's gotten minutes, but I don't think he's gotten the best minutes to really show out what he could do. So I don't know. I mean, the dude's in my opinion, right? I feel like he's a future all defense guy. Why not give him the keys right now?
Not yeah, you're on. He's that type of he's that type of player. Shot blocker, 7 foot, can catch and finish. Right, he doesn't have
Yeah,
terrible hands.
Yeah.
He can catch and finish. He can even better. He can swat the live balls off the backboard. You know how they have the FIBA rule.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You can use him in that respect. But again, this is Steve Kerr, somebody who kind of puts himself as the architect of the small ball basketball, even though we've been playing small ball for years. Right? People have always
Yeah.
played small ball. It's just but that's a different conversation. But it's like you guys cannot go out like this though, because I'm looking at it like you have. So we're not on the same side as Canada.
No, yeah. So this is the path to the finals for all these four teams involved.
So between none of those two teams, like those, that's not an easy game.
Yeah. No, yeah, for sure. Like that Germany Latvia game, that's another game I wish I could watch, but it's gonna be
Right?
like 4 in the morning. But like that's a serious game there. I have Germany winning. I think they're the
me
favorites,
too.
but like if Latvia won, I wouldn't be shocked either. I
Mm,
look at both teams and I think like they both get the absolute most out of their personnel. Like
Yeah,
the sum is definitely greater than the parts with both those teams. And then yeah, like Germany like quietly has hoopers. Like Schroeder turns into a different player. I
hmm
feel. Obviously Franz Wagner is really good. They got Daniel Tice. They got the other Wagner. Um, that's a solid. Again, like I'm looking at this right here, and I'm like, USA Germany would be a very very good semifinal matchup.
yeah.
oh my
Mind you,
god.
though, they haven't really been relying on France that much. Uh, they got a
Schroeder's out here dropping 30.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
isn't one of them injured too?
no, but you got yeah. I think it's France actually, but you got Daniel Tice out here carrying the load. You got Moritz
Man,
Wagner being an absolute gem for this team.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah,
Moritz.
it's funny too because with Moritz, there was somebody in the chat during our last stream that was like, "Yo, he's ass," and we're like, "Sure, in the NBA maybe, but yo, those type of players,
He's
a
playing
lot of them
amazing.
pop off in FIBA ball."
he
But again,
drove Luka crazy. I saw that. I don't know if
yeah,
y'all watched that game, but
Nah, I missed it.
bruh,
hey,
him and Luka got beef. I swear.
look, the
There's probably
guy.
a Magic Mavericks game that we didn't keep track of where something happened.
Oh, there's gonna be something.
I
It's
still
yeah.
believe that this Germany squad wouldn't be anything without Dennis Schroeder putting it all
Oh yeah,
together. He's
oh yeah.
putting it all together. You see all the passes he's making every game. It's incredible. He's running that offense like a dream. I mean, yeah, he's having the problems with the coaching staff, but
Yeah, that was
running.
funny.
I feel like he runs that team. I really do believe he runs that
Mm,
team. Guys listen to him. They have great chemistry every time out.
But that's why he's talking like that because he
Yeah,
knows it.
he knows everybody respects him. So I believe Moritz Wagner's he's averaging 16.4 this tournament. I'm gonna credit that a lot to Dennis Schroeder.
Oh yeah,
Just
yeah.
getting him to the right spots, getting him the good looks. I don't know. I think that's the X factor, Dennis, right there. If he can't show out against Latvia, I think it's a wrap for Germany.
Yeah, no, I agree because like again, I was surprised by Latvia when I first saw them, and then I continued to be surprised because like I didn't see any fall off from when I watched them.
Yeah.
Obviously, like yeah, like Davis Bertans is the player that people would know. But when you watch them, they have a big and a guard, number 55, and then the big was wearing 20 something that are just
Mhm.
cold and they just do their job so well. Number 55, the point guard, he gets penetration, he creates for himself, he creates for others. um yeah, it's one of those teams where like if there's gonna be like a Cinderella story kind of a team, they feel like they have that type of like
Yeah.
upside for a team that people don't know about with the dog, with the like chemistry, and like the way they play basketball, it's easy to become a fan of. right? Like I
Yeah,
could see people getting behind the team if they ever get a chance to watch them. But again, when they're playing these games at like 4 in the morning, it's just not going to happen.
very true. It's not a top heavy team at all. Like
Yep.
you don't see a guy averaging more than what 3, 4 points per game above the other. Like they're all pretty cohesive, and I like what they got going on. They got that underdog mentality all tournament long
Oh
because
yeah.
nobody knows who these. A lot of people know who these guys are, but
Yeah.
in the general sense, a lot of people don't know who these guys are, and they're showing out, and they got something to prove here. You know, they're in probably the tougher side of the bracket with USA and Germany. Um, they've shown others that they can make them bleed. I think they're gonna give Germany a very like a heart wrenching game. I really do.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That game's gonna go down to like the final 2 minutes for sure. It's gonna be one of those games where the possessions are gonna be meaningful all the way to the end of the
Oof.
game. Um, Definitely look forward to that one. As with that, we can get to the other half of the bracket. This bracket is also a pretty interesting one, I think, in its
Tough.
own right. Um, I think with Slovenia, obviously, I think they got Luka back for the last game, right? They've only had him for one game in the tournament.
Yep.
So they're kind of like, in a way, they're like a new team. They're a team that I think people have seen the least of. Obviously, like Luka has played quite a bit of ball for Slovenia in general, so people are gonna know. But like I said, in this tournament, he's only played one game. Um, yeah, that's just my thing with Slovenia though, is that like if their whole game is just like Luka creating for shooters, like I
I don't
think
see it.
we can probably deal with it. But that's just my thing. Like I've seen Canada bleed primarily because of centers, so that's what I'm looking for from this point onwards. And obviously, like you see Lithuania there, and you're like, well, shit. And then like Serbia as a whole has just been playing really, really well. So like
I mean,
I know what they
look,
can do, but like
Serbia does have a very nice. I mean, Slovenia does have a very nice 7 footer, which kind of scares me for Canada.
luxuries,
Yep.
luxuries.
Mike Toby. I mean, just look at his stats. Dude's averaging
Yeah,
18 a game,
yo, the
6 rebounds.
least Slovenian name ever, bro. I
Yeah,
saw
for
that and
real.
I was like, what's
Mike
going
Toby.
on?
They should take him to Team USA at this point.
Big
But
facts.
you have that luxury of having a 7 footer with guys like Dwight Powell, who is he's not even a good defender at the NBA level. Let's be real.
Yeah,
Same with Kelly. You know, those guys aren't. You know, you don't when you think defense, you don't think Kelly Olynyk and Dwight Powell.
neither. Yeah,
So I feel like Mike Toby's gonna look like the Grim Reaper for Canada. They
yeah.
just they just got to do something to just let him shoot. Maybe give the keys to Luka, but he still might find Mike Toby at the paint, and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
So I think Canada's just gonna have to outscore and shoot the lights out the gym because on a defensive end, there's not much you can do. You can probably stop Luka, but who's gonna stop Mike Toby?
Yeah, of course. And that's the thing too, is like if you stop Luca at the expense of everybody else cooking, then like how
There's nothing
much
you
are
can
you
do.
winning at that point anyways, right? Like, I agree from the standpoint of like the best thing I feel confident about in this game is just like, okay, but Slovenia got to deal with us. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
that's it, like cool. Of course, I understand that their ability to make us bleed, but I mean they have to stop themselves from bleeding too. They have to
Exactly.
deal with everything we can throw at them. And then whatever's left is what we'll have to figure out, right? If they show up and they play a great game, if anything, the game against Spain, it showed me that like I feel better about the team navigating a tough game because
Yeah.
sometimes in those moments teams just crumble. Seeing
Yeah.
that not happen already feels pretty good.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I like that they didn't, sit down and take it. You see a lot of teams they just like lay
Yeah,
down, play the bench. I would have been sick to my stomach if I seen the scrubs play. Uh,
yo.
I don't know.
See, even in that game, hold on, they subbed Shea back into the game with about 5 minutes to go in the fourth. But for the
Yeah,
minutes before that,
it
bench
was.
players were playing. So I'm watching that game with 6 minutes to go, and it's
Oof.
looking rough. And I'm looking at Melvin Edrum and Trey Bell Haynes, and I was hurt. Fortunately, the rest paid off for
Yeah,
Shea. If it didn't, I'd be on Jordy's case. But yeah, that's
look,
why. Go ahead.
Slovenia can be worrisome, but at the end of the day, like you said, they do gotta guard y'all, and they gotta guard this
Yep.
young man called Shea Gilgis Alexander, who's been torching everybody. So I think it's just
Everybody
gonna be fireworks.
Everybody gets it. Yeah. No, for sure. And it's just like even from a pure entertainment standpoint, if you're not invested in the games or you don't even particularly like international ball that much, you're gonna want to show up to watch Luka versus SGA,
It's box
right?
office, man.
These are the kind of matchups that the NBA is going to put on prime time. Like
Hmm.
this is what that's for. So like with this matchup, man, I'm excited. I can't wait. I do like what we have going on. I think we'll get the win. Um, what I'll be watching for is can we get out in transition, because I feel like that's been a big thing for us in this tournament offensively. And for Brazil, that was a big thing about how they beat us. Because the thing about the place where Spain kind of messed up, right? Spain had a lot of good ideas going, but the game was at a very fast pace. There
Yeah,
was a lot of possessions, there was a lot of offense, right? That part of their strategy, I think, messed them up because it gave Canada enough opportunities to figure it out. A thing
yeah,
that Brazil did is they slowed the game down completely. They would rather dribble out the shot clock and get a shot clock violation than like
let Canada run.
turn the ball over, make a pass and risk turning it over. They kept us out of possession transition completely, and like that game ended in the 60s. I think it was 66 to 60, right? The game against Spain ended in the 80s. Tale of two completely different games there. And like I think that's the main difference. I
Yeah,
think Spain picked up a lot of good things that Brazil did, but they didn't pick that part up. Now
I
I don't
agree.
know if Slovenia is equipped to play that kind of a game, but what I will be like keeping an eye on is, do they keep us out of transition? Do they keep
Yeah,
their turnovers to a minimum? Do they slow the game down? Because I think if they that's I think going to be a vital part of them getting this upset.
yeah, that's valid. And that transition game goes back to Jordy Fernandez with the Kings. The Kings had an amazing transition offense. I just feel
Oh
like
yeah.
Jordy's just translating that to RJ. RJ, I feel like is probably one of the better transition guys Canada has,
Yep.
but you got Shea who's amazing at it. You got Dylan
Yep.
Brooks who's surprisingly tough too. Um, I feel like Jordy has to figure out a way to play against slower teams because they're playing like Showtime out here. I feel like sometimes.
Oh,
Uh,
100%.
yeah,
100%. We need to get like a little bit more, because that's the thing, right? Like you watch Spain in the half court and you can see like certain kind of like passing sequences and plays that are just like, oh,
it's a
that's
different
just
rhythm.
beautiful, right? We don't have that going for us at all. It's a lot of
Yeah,
just like ISO ball, get the ball in certain guys' hands in certain situations. It's a lot more improvised, which is, I
yeah,
think, just like more productive, not playing together that much, which
a
is
little bit of
fine.
real
Like there's
ball.
not anything wrong with it, but it's just a stylistic thing. And like, that's the thing. Like Brazil was a team that, of course, like not much talent, but they had that part of the game figured out, and their game plan was really smart. But yeah, for Jordy, that's going to be an important thing. And our players defensively, like they clearly have a green light to just be really aggressive at the point of attack
Yeah,
defensively. Like they're getting a lot of steals. SGA is good for one, just like poke the ball out at like half court and just start the breakaway right there. He's good for one of those a game. Nikhil's good for one of those a game. So yeah, for Slovenia, they have to keep the game slow. They have to keep us out of transition. If not, not really sure
I
what
just
they're gonna.
can't. Oh,
Go
okay,
ahead.
you got it. You got it.
Nah, go.
I just can't. I can't see it with this Slovenia team, boss. I'm going to be real with y'all, man.
Yeah,
I see like no hope because it's such a damn what we call it. I'm gonna call it a buck. It's just the Mavs.
mm. I
It's
don't
just
think it's
the
the Mavs,
Mavs.
man.
I feel like I hear you. I definitely want to hear your perspective, but I'm like, because that Germany game, I feel was like the first time they really like. What's their schedule been like in this tournament? Because I feel like Germany is the hardest team they might have played thus far.
Ooh, let me see if I can see real quick. Slovenia. Does that go to Slovenia? It does. Cool.
Because usually, right, he like when they were really cooking, they had him, they had Goran, and they had Goran's brother. And
Yeah.
so Goran as the secondary player was always cooking, right?
Yeah. They still have Zoran.
So, but it like for me, his brother was that difference maker,
Yeah.
right? And when they lost him, it's like they lost that extra punch, and it just it just seems like Luka's out there by himself having to create everything again, and he's that as we've
Is he just breaking up for me or?
Yeah, no, I think he's lagging. He's lagging.
No, he's back. All right, when he
Yeah,
gets
yeah,
back, we'll let him know. But yeah, no, what he said was right. Venezuela, Georgia, Cape Verde, Australia before Germany. So Germany was like that was their tough
real
matchup for
test.
real. Prior to that, there were some. Yeah, he dropped out. But yeah, my guy Miguel, shout out to Miguel, hella active in the chat. He said Canada has to watch for role players, role/bench players like Prepelic. He has been putting on the work. I'm not familiar with Prepelic. Does that name sound familiar to you?
Yeah, I mean, he is. That's like their number 3 guy. He's averaging
Okay.
15 a game, 4
She.
rebounds. He's averaging,
Yeah.
yeah. He's putting to work definitely for Slovenia. That might be the guy that they're focusing too much on Luka and Toby. That might be the guy that who slits your throat. Um,
Right.
all I can see from this game though is Adam Silver sitting on behind his little computer, rubbing his hands. He's just got great television.
My bad,
About
people.
to
That
make a lot of
Wi-Fi.
money.
Yeah. Nah. You cut out at Goran being the difference maker.
Yeah, because it's pretty much like what he had with Brunson. That
Yeah.
secondary guy who's actually could be a first on a good team, but he provides that support. And I think that's what I'm saying when I'm like it's the Mavs is I don't think he has a supporting cast to have somebody else be the difference with him.
I
Yeah.
think he does. I think he does this tournament.
Do you think it's the
Actually,
big?
no. He's got guys down the line who they've been solid. Like it's not like the Mavs where like you got a big drop off in performance. This is a pretty, I feel like it's a pretty cohesive team. You got multiple guys who can, show up if Luka's not doing it. Uh, they got good shooters too. They got good active defenders. I don't think this is a Maverick situation at all. I feel like with the Mavericks back then, it was more of who's going to play hero ball this time, or are we just going to sit and wait for Luka to do something and everybody sits in the corner? Once Luka sits down, you just got a lot of people who don't know how to play basketball. But here, if they can probably, they could sit Luka and they could rest easy because they do have guys who can really put into work. I don't think this is at all like the Mavericks have been. Even with Kyrie, like this is different,
Yeah.
I mean, he's been having to deal with Christian Wood all this time. I think he's having a great time
That's
with
facts. That's facts. Shout
he's
out
having
Mike
a great
Toby.
time with Mike Toby.
Maybe I'm looking a bit too much into that Germany game,
Yeah.
but it was just like watching him, and then I could see the frustration on his face.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like there were certain definitely like he took a crazy. That's why I said him and Wagner gotta have beef because he took a crazy foul on Morris, and I'm just looking like, hey, it's a whole game to play. You can't be going after Buddy.
Yeah.
This is not the league. The league won't throw you out. FIBA might throw you out. They don't care.
For real.
For real.
So yeah, I we'll see, man. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong because I think anytime you put Luka on TV, it's must watch. So
Of course.
hopefully they can get it done.
That's what we were saying, man. Luka versus SGA. This is a Thursday night NBA game in a FIBA context. This is as Peter would say, real hoops.
Yep. Adam Silver is somewhere out there with a big old smile on his face. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows it.
Yeah, he's like, I hope a rivalry gets built off this game. I got TV money to get to. But yeah, man,
he's gonna put Mavericks versus Thunder on pay-per-view. Watch.
Pay-per-view. That's funny. For sure. But yeah, we can get to that last game there, Lithuania, Serbia. So that's the thing. Like, obviously, we've seen that Lithuania, they have, a shock win in them. Obviously, they're a team that's been playing together for a long time. I know Valanciunas has been taking Team Lithuania seriously his whole life. I remember when the Raptors drafted Valanciunas, and I'm going back to look at try to see if I can scout him and get a feel for the player he is. It's all Lithuania ball, right? Like at that point, you get nothing but Lithuania highlights. That's obviously a big part of also even just how the NBA community scouted him because he was legitimately playing in the pro league in Lithuania when he got drafted. But it was Lithuania it was Team Lithuania stuff that got him drafted. So this is obviously something that means a lot to him. He will have been playing with these guys for a long time. They're going up against a really solid squad in Serbia, though. I know Serbia you think Jokic and you think they don't have Jokic, but like Bogdanovic has been going crazy.
Look, I put a standout guy when we were talking about the teams in the
Oh yeah,
preview.
Malutinov, right?
Lulinov, I just want y'all to hear this: 23-14. That man is killing
Sheesh.
everybody out there. I told y'all. I mean, he is a huge guy. He's got a lot of skill. Bogdanovic and Jovic, they've been playing really good, but Nikola, oh my goodness, he's doing it all out there. He really is
23 and 14.
23-14. He is absolutely
Yeah,
killer for this team.
those are grown man numbers.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
that's NBA equivalent 30-20 right there.
Yeah, but who knows what can happen? Because now you got JV on the other side, and JV with Lithuania is basically Hakeem Olajuwon. So you're gonna have to see what goes on with that.
That's facts.
Yeah, you can't knock out a man with heart in it for his country. So we'll see what goes on. But Lithuania does have their hands full with the Serbia team. I really do believe so. I mean, I don't think they've only lost one game, but I don't think they're gonna drop this one against Lithuania. I think they're way too strong. Even down to the bench, like they're not just gonna lay down and take whatever Lithuania might throw at them. I think this one might be a blowout too.
Yeah. Now I feel this. I feel kind of similarly to how I feel about Germany and Latvia in terms of like I have a clear favorite in my head, and like I'm pretty decisive about who I think is gonna win. But like I really got a lot of respect for the other team. It's one of those. So like I know what you mean, but Serbia is definitely like the team I have winning. I think a Serbia Canada matchup in the semis here would also be a very good semifinal matchup. You look at what could potentially be Serbia and Canada on one side, and then Germany and the U.S. on the other side. That's a solid semifinal matchup.
Tough semifinal right there. Very tough. Also, I do want to give Serbia credit. I think they have been probably the most consistent team in this tournament. I
think so too. Yeah, I was looking at it. I think they have they're like point differentials like 120, even though they've lost a game, kind of a thing, which is like kind of on par with where Canada is, who's like Canada has been blowing teams out. So it's like you might be lose track of it because it's Serbia, but Serbia is for real. Like they've been winning games.
Aside from that game they dropped, they've been putting consistent points on the board and holding the other team to nothing.
Serbia going to be the real world champion.
I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. I'll be here for it. I believe it. I mean, Serbia.
And shout out Don Dada as always in the chat. But yeah, like we'll just get some quick predictions on our way out here.
Don Dada, what up, though?
For real. We'll try to like get a semifinal show for you guys. I think it would have to be on a particular night. I think it would have to be either Wednesday or Thursday. So I'll check in with the guys and see what we can make happen for you guys, people. But before we get into that, I think Italy, USA. I think we all mentioned we have USA.
Oh yeah, I believe it's USA.
Yeah,
it's USA.
All right, cool. We're on this. All on the same page there. I think Germany.
I wanted to sell it.
I want Germany.
Germany.
Yeah, I got Germany too. So we're all on the same page there. I think Serbia and Canada for these two matchups.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so we're there, people. We all feel the exact same way about these outcomes. Hopefully, we get those matchups because, as we stated, those semifinal matchups will be amazing, big time. I hope they figure the timings out for that because they would both be on the Friday. I think the semifinals would both be on Friday, so one of those matchups would have to be early in the morning. Like I don't know if they would play both at the same time. Actually, hold up, do they have?
I just hope they don't have time. I hope they just do the 8 a.m. games. I really do.
That's the thing, but it's like then they play them both at the same time. But at least I could go back and forth if I wanted to. Like,
I don't know. They got to figure it out.
But yeah, it would be tough. But yeah, man, this is what it is. We gave you guys the quarterfinal preview. We talked about a whole lot of stuff. We talked about how our teams fared going into this round. We talked about this round. Definitely want to thank you to Nico and Eddie for making these episodes possible. A lot of contributions from you guys, both guys that really know the sport to a high level. Shout out to everybody that's watching this right now, whether you're on replay or you're in the chat right now, you're watching live. Definitely make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in. share the video. All these forms of engagement all help YouTube channels get bigger. So if you enjoy the content, you have an opportunity to put us in a position to get you more content. So that's the goal, people. We'll be checking out. I don't know if Nico or Eddie got anything to say to send us off, but yeah.
A lot
Yeah,
to be
man.
excited this
Always,
tournament.
always appreciate you having me on, brother.
Always, man. Always, always.
Hey man, yeah, thanks to you for making all this possible, man. Get the people excited.
For real, man. Nobody. I genuinely believe, bro. Best FIBA coverage in the whole of the internet. Just people
That
don't
is
know it
true.
yet.
That
But
is true. We don't know
that's
yet.
true.
Yet.
That's true. But yeah, man, people, thank you guys for watching. You'll see more of us as the tournament goes on. Stay tuned in because a lot more content coming.